Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/Entitled People. In today's episode, woman tries to steal our table at restaurant while we're eating. When my brother wants to buy a new car and park it on my lawn. Brother ruins my 24th birthday. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. Woman tries to steal our table at restaurant while we're eating. My husband, myself and our almost 2-year-old were eating breakfast at a very small mom and pop diner that had 8 tables and 2 waitresses. My husband and I were done eating and had paid the bill. My little toddler was of course taking her sweet time and still eating, and we were contentedly sipping our coffees. A rush of people started coming in the door, and their wait times gradually increasing with each new table added to the wait list. People waited outside on this day, and the waitresses offered them cups of coffee while they waited. A woman entered and said, "I'll sit here," and gestured to our table. The waitress said, "There are other people ahead of you." The woman argued back, "What people? Where are they?" And the waitress said they might be walking outside. "Can I offer you a cup of coffee to take outside?" And the entitled woman responded, "You can put the cup of coffee at this table," again gesturing to our table that we are still occupying. This continued on before finally the woman agreed to be added to the wait list. It was so annoying, I felt bad for the busy waitress to have to deal with her on top of trying to do the rest of her job. ETA, my toddler is a person, you all were once people too. We occupied our table for a totality of less than an hour. At this point, we were less than 10 minutes away from being finished. Thinking back, this small diner had 6 tables and a small counter for seating. Which is why the wait times became long quickly. Some people are slower eaters, and for 10 minutes you shouldn't be punished for that. I work in restaurants. You'd be amazed how few people consider children as people. Like, we get the party of 4 up to the host stand, and they have 4 adults and 3 kids, because kids don't count, apparently. Of course, children don't count. They'll be too busy running around to even sit at the table. /s. Seriously though, I never understood people who didn't count their children when making reservations. Like, your child will take up space, do they need to be counted so they can get their own seat? Some people just don't have any common decency. Had that happen to me once. As the check came, someone decided to try to sit at the table as a way to claim it. The waitress came and my GF and I told her to take the check back, that we changed our mind and wanted dessert after all. People are assholes. I would have let the waitress know when we were leaving just in case the old battle axe tried to jump the line. When my brother wants to buy a new car and park it on my lawn. Background, my name is on the deed, his isn't. He pays me rent. He wants to buy a second car. He has an old beat-up 2-seat Prius. He wants to buy a Honda Accord. But he wants to keep the beat-up Prius because it's paid off, and if you have a second car then you'll have one to drive if your first one breaks down. I said that's what rentals and insurance are for. He replied that because I didn't grow up poor like him I don't understand, and everyone he knows in his age group has 2 cars. I said I could understand if it was like a truck that you can actually use for an additional purpose. He responded he would get a truck if he could afford one. He can, he's just too cheap to pay that much. I asked him where he would park it and he said under the tree. I replied, "Where I mow?" He said, "I'll move it and I'll drive both cars." He also said that having 2 cars means having one to play with, aka trick out, and one to use. I countered that we have a gravel driveway and no garage. Where is he going to work on it? He responded, "That's not the point, you just don't get it." I was so close to saying you rent here and have 1 parking spot. If you want another car, find someone else's property to park it on. But I didn't really want to start that fight. Hopefully he will be evicted soon. You rent here and have 1 parking spot. That's reasonable. There's nothing there to fight about. Nope, not discussing it. One parking spot. If you want him evicted, this might be the excuse you need. He can rent a storage unit for his car. Or a garage. Or park on the street somewhere. Warn him ahead of time that he is not to take your parking space and is not to park on the lawn, and if he does it anyway, you will tow his car. Brother ruins my 24th birthday. I, 24F, celebrated my birthday earlier this year. From my 18th birthday until now, something has always happened on my birthday that ends up ruining the day for me. I made it a point this year to plan/do things I enjoyed on my day. I ended up renting an Airbnb by the lake about an hour away from where I was living. I invited about 8 people to come spend the weekend there with me. My birthday was on a Sunday. I had the Airbnb from Friday night to Monday morning. My friends and I had made plans for Friday and Saturday, but what I was most excited for was Sunday, my actual birthday. I decided I wanted to have a cookout, get drunk, smoke, and just have a good time. My friends and I made a menu, we planned who was cooking what, and I even invited a few other people to come drop by for the day. I was excited, everything was going good. Early on Sunday, my brother, 37M, called me to wish me a happy birthday. Now me and my brother have a very iffy relationship. I have 2 brothers, but I'm only on speaking terms with one. Both of my brothers are drug addicts with mental health issues that are fueled by drug addiction. My brother that called me has been in and out of jails, rehabs, psych wards since I was 10. This has taken a hug toll on me and my family, and as a result me and my brother have had periods where we do not speak, for years. However, when he had called me on my birthday, we were in an okay place. He asked me what I had planned and I told him I had rented an Airbnb and my friends and I were cooking out. Instantly I realized that was a bad idea once he took that as an opportunity to invite himself. He kept asking for the address. I first let him know that all of my friends were under the age of 26, so he'd be out of place there. He still insisted on coming. Then I was brutally honest and told my brother I didn't want him to come and ruin my birthday. My brother's current DOC was definitely alcohol. He was doing other things but was also mixing that with getting drunk every day. And when my brother drinks and does drugs, he ruins things. He however promised me that he wouldn't say anything to upset me and he wouldn't drink too much. I tried for about 30 minutes to get him not to come, but he continued to insist, and at that point I just wanted to start enjoying my day, so I sent him the address and told him to let me know when he was on the way. I start cooking by the time my brother calls to let me know he's coming. He says his friend is bringing him/coming with him. Strike 1. My brother has only other drug addict friends who are his age, so I just knew this was going to be an issue. While cooking I noticed we didn't purchase enough hamburger buns and we had to cheese for the burgers, so I asked my brother if he could stop on the way and pick some up. He tells me to send him $20 for the groceries. Strike 2. When he arrives he immediately gets out of the car and I can tell he's already been drinking. He's slurring, but he's in decent spirits, so I let it go. I meet his friend who is exactly what I described above and I take them inside to meet my friends. My brother asks where the drinks are and I show him the bottles in the fridge and ask if he needed me to pour him a drink. To which I do. Keep in mind we had maybe 4 bottles left at the time, 2 communal bottles. 1 bottle that was one of my friends and 1 bottle that was mine. I specifically has clear Casamigos for myself because I knew nobody else drank that. But it was my birthday, so I got what I wanted. I poured my brother a drink out of this bottle. This was also the first drink from that bottle I poured that day. I had been cooking, so I didn't even have an opportunity to start drinking yet. Also, I get it, he's an alcoholic. Why was I feeding him alcohol? He's a grown man. That's all I have to say about that. Everybody goes out back to smoke and I hear my brother walk out back. He then proceeds to tell my friends. I don't smoke, but my friend does. Make sure y'all pass him the J while it's in motion. Neither him nor his friend brought any weed to match J's. My brother expected my friends to smoke his friend out for free. Strike 3. And I told my friends definitely not. My brother then starts making little comments about my outfit. Strike 4. He starts telling me I need to go change because my outfit is too revealing and he won't drop it. I keep letting him know this is my birthday and my Airbnb and he did not have to be here. That his comments were unnecessary and a vibe killer. He continued. He then started making comments about my boyfriend, Strike 5, who had ran out to go grab something for me. My brother isn't a fan of my boyfriend, but I don't really care. My brother has no authoritative power over me to tell me anything about anyone. I reminded him before he came he promised he wouldn't be any trouble and he said as my big brother he's allowed to say WTF he wants. This turned into a big argument where I let him know he had one more time to upset me on my birthday and he would have to leave. He told me I couldn't kick him out. LOL. My friends consisted of 5 dudes who all were just waiting for the okay to put my brother out. We continued arguing until some of my friends calmed me down and I went outside with them to smoke. I come back inside to go take a drink, cause I need it, and my entire bottle of Casamigos was empty. I mean it went from a full bottle to not even a sip left in less than an hour. Strike 6. I immediately start flipping out and I find my brother and start going in on him. About how he's been nothing but a nuisance since he called this morning, how this is why I hate hanging out with him and inviting him places, and then on top of that all I wanted for my birthday was my bottle and he decided to finish the entire thing. His only defense was that there were 3 other bottles in the fridge and he didn't think it was that big of a deal. How I know how high his alcohol tolerance is and how that tiny drink I poured didn't do anything and he was just trying to calm down from our previous argument. Then he said, and I quote, "Can't your friends just buy you another one?" It was a Sunday. I live in a state that doesn't serve alcohol on Sundays, and on top of that the Airbnb was in the middle of nowhere. At that point I absolutely lost it. I told him he had to leave and if he didn't leave my friends were putting him out. I called his girlfriend and told her she needed to tell my brother to GTF before things got ugly. His friend tried to plead his case while my brother sat in the car saying nothing to me, but I wasn't hearing it. I literally wouldn't stop yelling until they were off the property. Once they left I cried. So hard. It was the audacity for me. I cried, let it out and had a kick-ass rest of my birthday. When my boyfriend got back he heard about the bottle and how but he left for an hour and a half and came back with an entire crate of alcohol, not Casamigos, but I still really appreciated the effort. The food was bomb. My friends showed me so much love. And I didn't speak to my brother for months. He refused to apologize because he didn't think he did anything wrong. He thought I was unfairly picking on him because of our history. Look, your brother is obviously a giant asshole. But what I don't understand is why you gave him the address in the first place. You didn't want him there. You knew he was just going to cause trouble. And you gave it to him anyway. I say this in the nicest way I can, but stop being a doormat and start saying no. End of story. No. I will not discuss this with you anymore. No. And then stick to it. It'd make your life much happier. I agree. So many of these start with, I shouldn't have done it. I know I shouldn't, but I did. Seriously, people. No is a complete sentence and hanging up makes it, no. I don't think you understand the strike game. It ends after 3. Your brother didn't invite himself, you did. You gave him the address knowing full well the likely outcome in advance. There seems to be a known repetitive cycle happening there. Long ago, I had people in my life who told me I was too extreme. The reason? Anyone who was even half as bad as your brother was told to FCK off. I just want to let you know it's okay to tell your brother to FCK off. Or even go and see. You probably wish you could do this, and I'm here to tell you you can. It's the right thing to do. The people who are wrong are the ones who tell you, but family, or he's had a hard life. These are not your problems. Maybe tell those folks to FCK off, too. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.